The Bible is a complex and multifaceted text that has been studied and interpreted in countless ways throughout history. However, in today's world, many people rely on mainstream media to learn about the Bible and its teachings. Unfortunately, this approach is often flawed and can lead to a superficial understanding of the Bible's true lessons. Mainstream media, including news outlets, television shows, and movies, often present a watered-down or distorted version of biblical teachings, which can be misleading and lacking in depth. One of the primary reasons why mainstream media fails to convey the true lessons of the Bible is that it often focuses on sensationalism and entertainment value rather than accuracy and substance. News outlets, for example, may pick and choose which biblical stories or verses to report on, often taking them out of context to fit a particular narrative or agenda. This can create a skewed understanding of the Bible's teachings and may lead viewers to misunderstand or misinterpret its message. Similarly, television shows and movies may use biblical themes or characters as a way to attract audiences, but they often sacrifice accuracy and authenticity in the process. Another issue with learning about the Bible from mainstream media is that it often relies on secondary sources rather than primary ones. Instead of consulting the Bible itself, many media outlets rely on the interpretations and opinions of so-called experts or celebrities who may not have a deep understanding of the biblical text. This can lead to a game of theological telephone, where the original message of the Bible becomes distorted or lost in translation. Furthermore, mainstream media often lacks the nuance and complexity that is necessary to fully understand the Bible's teachings. The Bible is a rich and multifaceted text that requires careful study and contemplation to appreciate its depths, but mainstream media often reduces its teachings to simplistic soundbites or slogans. In addition, mainstream media often has a bias or secular perspective that can influence its presentation of biblical teachings. Many media outlets have a liberal or progressive agenda that can lead them to emphasize certain aspects of the Bible while downplaying or ignoring others. This can create a selective and incomplete understanding of the Bible's teachings, which can be misleading and lacking in balance. For example, some media outlets may focus on the Bible's teachings on social justice or compassion, while ignoring its teachings on sin, repentance, and redemption. This can create a shallow or superficial understanding of the Bible's message, which may not accurately reflect its true lessons. Furthermore, mainstream media often lacks the spiritual context that is necessary to fully understand the Bible's teachings. The Bible is a spiritual text that requires a spiritual perspective to appreciate its depth, but mainstream media often approaches it from a purely secular or worldly perspective. This can lead to a misunderstanding of the Bible's teachings, which may be seen as irrelevant or outdated in a modern context. In contrast, a spiritual approach to the Bible recognizes its teachings as timeless and universal, with the power to transform lives and bring people closer to God. In conclusion, while mainstream media may provide some basic information about the Bible, it is not a reliable source for learning about its true lessons. The Bible is a complex and multifaceted text that requires careful study, contemplation, and spiritual reflection to fully understand its teachings. Mainstream media often lacks the nuance, complexity, and spiritual context that is necessary to appreciate the Bible's depth, and its presentations of biblical teachings can be misleading, superficial, or lacking in balance. To truly learn the lessons of the Bible, it is necessary to engage with the text itself, rather than relying on secondary sources or media outlets. By doing so, readers can gain a deeper understanding of the Bible's teachings and experience its transformative power in their lives.